See, that's what I want to show, that there are skills that transfer from the Marine Corps into civilian life. Your team concept was great. You brought that up. You carried that from the Marine Corps, you carried it to your family, and you got a team. You look at it, you love that. And you carried it into business where you still have that team. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. They're lost without their team. Welcome to the Combat Vet Transition Journey podcast. Pat Frager here. Every combat vet suffers from physical and emotional challenges. I find that transition is a lifelong journey. As they say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Jake, how have you been?
Been doing well, carrying on.
Seen you in several years until last week when we saw you at our Friday night rendezvous.
Yes.
And I was glad to see you transitioning well. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because you just missed Joe Sturdivant.
I know, we were waiting for him and he decides to show up,
It was funny because Jake's a Marine who has gone from flying high in aviation to flying high in real estate. You have been successfully transitioning. You have a lovely wife and 3 children?
3 kiddos.
And you're doing well in real estate. So you got the floor. Tell me, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Pat. And, so I was active duty Marine from 2002 to 2007. As you mentioned previously on the aviation side. So primarily, I wasn't on the front lines, but turning wrenches on helicopters, supporting the fight. And, deployed over to Iraq, did my thing and saw a little bit over there. But, really ever since my time in the Corps, I got out after 5 years, as an E5, I've always wanted to be a part of a team, and really my number one goal was to always try to be here to support veterans and military folks. Yeah, so this hill, it's in 62 area on Camp Pendleton, and Marines from 3-5, it's a big deal for them because essentially, and even down below, there's a huge memorial. Primarily from OIF and also some previous conflicts. So on the grunt side, this is a big deal to Marines, right? To memorialize their fallen, sure. Right? And this hill, it's a steep, it's a beast of a hill. It's not fun, it's not friendly, but it's not supposed to be. Sure. So at the top of this hill, there's a huge memorial, and it's grown over the years, and this is a thing that a lot of Marines do on Memorial Day. So I think I'd climbed this hill maybe about 18 years ago when I was active duty, but it's changed quite a bit since then.
Fellow amputee was going up the hill with his unit. I think he was with 3-5, and he actually lost a leg and an eye. And he actually crawled to the top of that hill just to get to the top. I think you've probably seen him. I knew the man, and it was inspiring to see that. I think it's inspiring to any combat vet to see something like that. And it shows us the value of what we have and what we've lost and what people have given up for us.
One phrase, and even from the Marine Corps and since then that I've learned is really to embrace the crap, embrace the suck, right? So if we can go through, 20 minutes of pain, an hour of pain, 2 hours of pain, I'll suck it up for however long I got to suck it up for to get up this hill. Because at the top of this hill, you're thinking about the fallen. It's not about you.
And I think it's inspiring to see what you've done to become successful. So tell us, first of all, when did you get married?
So I got married pretty soon after the Marine Corps. So I actually got out in July of 2007, and I got married in October of 2007, so that same year. Okay. Married my beautiful wife, Kate, and over the next following years ended up having 3 kiddos. Okay. Who are amazing. Right now my kids are 11, 9, and 6. Two boys and a girl.
And obviously you're still in love with your wife.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you help her out and she helps you out.
Yeah, it's
we can't keep you too long today because you've got baseball practice, softball practice.
Oh, I got to go pick up one of my kiddos and take him to an appointment. So there's always that teamwork.
It's important. Is it fair to say that your family, Kate and the boys, your children have been a strong support group for you, help you through everything?
I couldn't do what I've been able to do in the past. How long have I been out? 14 years. Is that right? I couldn't have done what I've done without her support and without the family support. Because I didn't start out right away in real estate, right? So I got out of the Marine Corps and I worked on base for a while as a contractor, deployed as a contractor on the aviation side as well. Then I ended up going private sector. And in the meantime, I was also getting my degree, getting halfway through master's, full-time job, full-time kids. Kind of stuck at that point in my life. I kind of stuck with the aviation side of the house. My number one goal was to always try to do something that made sense that I could support my family, because for the past,
Have to help yourself before you can help others.
right, and roughly for the past 14 years, it's been me, in the sense of the financial impact to the family.
Okay, I think Henry David Thoreau once said or wrote, sustaining oneself in life should be a pleasure, not a hardship. And from what I've gleaned from our conversations, you enjoy working in real estate.
I love it.
How did you get into that field?
Even backtracking to the Marine Corps, I had put on my exiting paperwork that I'd get my real estate license, way back then, right? But in the meantime, I went to school, I had to put food on the table for the family. And so it's very vital and very important. But I always had that passion and that drive to get my real estate license, because ever since a young age, I was very interested in architecture, interested in homes. I was doing sales prior to the Marine Corps a little bit. For me, I'm kind of that type of personality where if there's no risk, there's no reward. So in real estate, I've been in real estate for about 4 years now, and I love it. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's not straightforward, but the number one common goal that I've had and that our team has had is to support veterans and military, to try to get them into a home or sell a home, whatever it is. Our team of veteran real estate agents at Tip of the Spear Real Estate Team, that's our goal, right? Our number one goal is to help veterans get into homes.
Are these folks all people who have served in the military?
Correct. Yeah. Different branches. Our team is growing, so therefore, as our team grows, the goal is to help as many. We work with anybody. Okay, we'll work with anybody and everybody, but our primary focus is the military and veteran community. And with purchasing a home, that starts the road to financial freedom, especially in this market where we live in Southern California. If I can help a veteran or a veteran family get into a home, I'm going to do everything I damn well that I can to get them into a home.
And in California, is obviously an appreciating aspect.
Yes. And buying a home isn't simple. It's not straightforward. It's not necessarily easy, but anything worthwhile in life is not going to be easy. That VA entitlement that we have as veterans to be able to purchase a home, that's huge. I mean, that's worth, it's such a vital benefit that we all have as honorably served veterans that get out. And if you have a disability rating, the VA funding fee can be waived. So that's a huge chunk of change that's saved. Is roughly about 2.5% of the total purchase of the home, right? Depending on whatever the sales amount is. So, if that gets waived, that's great. That's saving the disabled veteran money. But also with regards to a VA loan compared to a conventional, the conventional loan product for a non-veteran person, they're going to generally have a higher interest rate. So for long-term, the 30-year life of a loan, that veteran is going to be saving quite a bit more money in the long term. So getting veterans into homes, even if they're scared, they're worried, they feel like, I have no idea how to go down this route. That's what myself and our team of veterans, that's what we're here for. Because ever since the Marine Corps and getting out, again, you're not set up to succeed.
So let's go back to your challenges. Okay. You got to share with us a couple of other challenges you had, during your transition period to get you where you are right now, where I'd say you're at least relatively successful, although we know that the transition is more of a marathon as opposed to a sprint.
As I often say, life is a roller coaster, and it truly was something that wasn't easy for me to understand or realize is that when you need support as a veteran, reach out and talk to somebody. Like create a team around you, friends, connections. Reach out and ask people questions because in this journey of life, we can't do it alone. And it didn't start that way, right? Getting out of the Marine Corps, and of course, I knew that I had to do something to support my family, right? That's goal number one, and it wasn't easy. So I was in the military, and then I was a contractor, and then I went private sector, and then I was a federal employee for a while, and then I went real estate. But all those occupations, those careers, those many years, I really wasn't happy. But I'm going to go back to my comment earlier: is you can't get through life without the support of a team. It takes a team. It takes a squad. It takes a platoon. It takes everybody involved to help to provide support to that veteran that needs it. And earlier on years ago, I was involved with the peer mentor program with the Wounded Warrior Project, and I've always wanted to be here to support my buddies, right? The guys that need the help, right? And so the buddies that are going to these other means, utilizing the drugs, drinking, all of that, that's not good, but I understand it. So with that said, I think if I can reach out, or if any of us can reach out to folks and just be there to be an ear to them, and I'll let them talk, right? I've always tried to be more of a listener than a talker, because that's what's really vital, right? They don't want to hear me speak. I want to hear them speak and let it out. Let them talk through what they got going on. And I might not necessarily be able to relate to every situation or every example, but bottom line, we got to be there to support each other,
Willing to listen.
willing to listen.
Now, tell me this: if someone wants to follow in down the path you're on right now, and they want to get into real estate, what would your advice be?
Reach out, and get in touch with me. I mean, I'm all over social media, all over, everywhere, but reach out and ask questions. Our team, with my team specifically, there's three of us right now on the real estate side of the team, right? And we primarily act as kind of individual real estate agents. We can all do the same thing, right? We can all work with buyers, we can work with sellers, we can, do the consulting side of it. We all do it, right? We also have, operators, lenders that focus on military and focus on veterans, and that's solely what they do. And so we have the support, the team of the lending team, to work on the financial side of the house. They have a lender's license, right? That's their job. That's their scope. So again, our team is pretty damn strong, and we solely focus on military and veterans. And if you can work with those individuals, you can work with anybody when it comes to real estate. It takes a unique personality to work in sales. You have to be very strong-minded. You have to have the grit. You have to have the determination, because in real estate, you're not making a paycheck until you sell a home, right?
Eat what you kill, huh?
Yep. And you have to be forward thinking and to be able to say, hey, I'm going to get out there and talk to people and communicate with people, right? And be a listener to see if they're looking to purchase or sell a home.
I would imagine you also have to have the tenacity and perseverance to work on weekends and nights when many people don't want to work.
So for a while there, I was doing more than one job at one point. So I was in real estate and I was doing another gig, a full-time W-2 position, right? And so I was burning the candle. I'd get up at 5 a.m. and start looking at real estate emails and doing my thing and doing what I had to do to be successful. And then I'd go off to my 6 a.m. to 15:30 W-2 job. And then I'd work on real estate after that until about 8, 9 p.m. depending on what it took. And then more recently, I'd be on Zoom calls, with the pandemic and everything. I'd be on Zoom calls with clients all over here in California, all the way out to London or Korea or Africa. But I would be on these Zoom calls at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, because it fits well with their timeline, right? So you got to think outside the box, and you got to put the other person first, right? It's you're trying to get them into a home.
So, in closing, Jake, what pearls of wisdom do you have other than that which you've already shared for combat vets who are out there wondering what they're going to do with their lives, struggling with whatever's going on, other than, you have your personal team at home. We can't discount that with your lovely bride and your 3 children. And then you have your team at work also. So I think it's fair to say that you are into the team concept. What advice would you have for people who are trying to figure out how to be Jake Smoke?
Right. No, that's great. Bottom line, keep driving forward. Put one foot in front of the other. Probably heard some of these phrases before. Keep driving. And if you ever have questions, you need support, you can't do this alone. You got to reach out and talk to somebody. Bottom line. And keep in mind the people that you're reaching out to, they're a part of your team. You can't get through life without the support of a team. Bottom line.
Okay, we want to thank Jake for coming today. It's been a great day for Jake. And I think Jake is a perfect example of what it takes to succeed, as a combat vet in transition, and what you need. The team concept, I think, is important. Now, in the future, we have another one of my favorite people coming on, hopefully on our next podcast, Chris Lawrence. Chris Lawrence is a very exceptional Marine, a grunt who lost his leg below the knee, had his arm jammed up pretty well, almost lost that, and he's now a police officer in Chula Vista, as well as a boxing champion. He traveled from Oceanside down to Chula Vista to go to school at the police academy for like 2 years. I was 5 or 6 hours a day just to get him to become a cop. Now he's a hero cop. And with that, that's a good way, and I hope to see you at our get-together on Friday, brother.
Yes, I'm down.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Pat.
That was
Appreciate
great.
it.
I'd like to thank everybody in the audience, and I'd like you to make sure that you like, subscribe, and join us in future podcasts, because I think this will become your favorite podcast. And remember, you are the captain of your fate. You are the master of your soul.
So many guys are trying to get through life after the military on their own.
Right.
And you can't, you got to have a team.